Right now, Fox 5 News, August 11th.
Mike Wallace's nose for news gets him arrested.
It is really as ridiculous as it sounds.
The newsman describes what it was like to spend 60 minutes in cuffs.
A Fox 5 exclusive. Panic on the path. Caught on tape. You might panic too. Your train filled with smoke.
Coming up, one wrong step and a young couple is electrocuted during the storm.
And the storms won't quit. Heavy rain, lightning, and flash floods. The forecast you need is 60 seconds away.
Do not, under any circumstances, leave your McDonald's new chicken selects unattended. Don't McDonald's?
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are? You're watching Fox 5 News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Rosanna Scotto.
And I'm Len Cannon. The wicked weather has only just begun, and a second round of storms is already hitting the area.
And this after the first round made a direct hit. Weather Authority's Jim Castillo is here right now with the latest. Jim.
Rosanna, Lynn, I don't think we've seen darker skies in the city in a long time. And of course, we had inch-size hail at Fort Lee. We also had trees down in portions of the Bronx. Lots of severe weather earlier tonight. What's going on right now in blue here? We've got until midnight. Middlesex County still underneath a flash flood warning. Now, all night long or all evening, we had severe weather and flash flooding throughout Brooklyn and Queens. That flash flood warning has been allowed to expire at 9:15. Still till 10 o'clock tonight, Mercer County underneath a flash flood warning. Now, look at these rainfall totals. Look at the red shaded area, orange shaded area. Again, lower parts of Brooklyn and Queens got hit very hard. Some places around Far Rockaway looks like about 5 inches, maybe 6 inches, and then also back here into parts of Middlesex County. So taking you to the radar right now, see what's going on around the area. Still some lightning out there and some rain, but not nearly as heavy as what we had earlier. Showers continue, and it looks like around the city, mainly light showers all the way up and down the city. A few thunder showers just to the west of us, and I'll have another update. Plus, tropical systems headed our way, and what that means for our 5-day forecast and the weekend coming up in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Jim. Downed power lines and flooded streets. It's what you'd expect during a storm, but tonight it made for a killer combination. A woman was electrocuted. Her boyfriend died trying to save her. Fox 5's Lisa Evers is in College Point, Queens right now. Lisa.
Len and Rosanna, the young couple's car had stalled in a 2.5-foot flood. Then it started to fill with water. They got out so they wouldn't drown, but what they didn't know was that the water they were stepping into was electrified. Lightning had just struck these power lines, ripping them apart and charging the rain-drenched streets with 2,200 volts of electricity. But that was the last worry on the mind of the 19-year-old behind the wheel of this Nissan Sentra as she stepped out onto 15th Avenue near 117th Street.
Next thing you know, the water is out all the way up high, and I see 2 people come out of the car. They're up to their waistlines in water. I turn back, they're gone, so I go, look, I'm going to call it in.
The female driver got out of the car. When she stepped down and touched the ground, she completed the circuit for the electrical current, in essence grounding herself, and at that point became electrocuted.
Her 23-year-old boyfriend heard her yelling for help, so he got out, only to suffer the same terrible fate.
I hear scream, woman scream, and I saw guy was in front of the red car, which was here in the middle of this intersection, and he fell down in the water, and he was floating.
And the victims of this horrific accident have been identified as 23-year-old Joseph Cheathman of Pittsburgh and 19-year-old Alana Berenson of Whitestone, Queens. Reporting live from College Point, Lisa Evers, Fox 5 News. Back to you in the studio.
Lisa, thank you. Tough story. Well, dozens of passengers on the PATH train panicked when one of the cars filled with smoke.
Turns out it was just a small garbage fire, but you can only imagine what was running through their heads.
That's when commuters took things into their own hands, and their escape is all caught on tape.
Fox 5's Linda Schmidt is here with this Fox 5 exclusive. Linda.
That's right there, Len and Rosanna. Well, we caught up with a guy who was there, and listen to what he has to say.
Everyone started to panic on the train. The doors weren't opening, the lights were out, you know, and it was just confusion. Windows were being knocked out. People were jumping out between cars and running, covering their faces. I mean, the look in their eyes.
Edward O'Connell was standing on the platform as the PATH train pulled into the station at 14th Street and 6th Avenue yesterday afternoon. He had his camera with him and he captured it all on tape. Smoke from a trash fire in the station filling the platform and the train. Now, usually the conductor will make an announcement if there's a fire, then get off the train and put it out. But in this case, some passengers say that didn't happen.
People were absolutely aggravated with the lack of communication, no announcements.
Now, we also talked to Port Authority, which runs the PATH line. They're telling us the conductor did follow procedures and did make an announcement. That's the very latest from here. We're live tonight. I'm Linda Schmidt, Fox 5 News. Len and Rosanna, back to you.
Linda, thank you. Well, while you're relaxing at the beach or pool over the next few weeks, thieves will be working overtime. It's the latest summer scam to hit New Jersey. Fox 5's Andrea Day is in Ridgewood with a warning you need to hear.
And guys, a bunch of thugs were using this pool parking lot at Ridgewood, New Jersey to rip people off until they fell right into cops' hands.
Our first instinct was to say they weren't doing anything.
But Detective Williams and his partner saw the whole thing go down from across the street.
He was crouched down. He was working on the lock here. And within at least 30 seconds, he gained access.
Detective Elwood says it's all part of a well-choreographed scam that they want you to know about before you become the next victim. Their target, beaches and pools where people leave their wallets behind in cars. Detectives say the team pulls up to your car and pretends they've got engine troubles. One guy hangs out in back on his cell phone, another in front watching out. Still another uses a tool like this to punch in your passenger door lock and grab your wallet.
Carefully remove a credit card, put the wallet back exactly where it was, lock the door, and close it.
And before you even know it's gone, they've charged up thousands. They hit this place for 2 weeks before detectives planted a wallet in this van and waited. What's your message to anybody going to a beach or a pool?
Secure your wallets where you know they are, bring them with you.
And tonight, cops here in Ridgewood have one team behind bars, but are warning everyone that there are others out there. I'm Andrea Day, Fox 5 News.
4 people hired to keep passengers safe at the airport are charged with stealing from them instead. The men worked as airport security screeners at Kennedy and LaGuardia, but police say they stole items from the luggage they were going through. Port Authority surveillance cameras were rolling on it. One of the men was caught on a sting.
A sad farewell today for former Mets broadcaster Bob Murphy. A standing room only crowd packed St. Patrick's Cathedral for his funeral. Mets owner Fred Wilpom and broadcaster Gary Thorne delivered the eulogies. Murphy died last week from lung cancer. Former players remembered him fondly.
I just always love the oh ho ho ooh ah, or a swing and a miss. David, Arthur, Kingman. So those are the things I remember about Murph.
Murphy spent 50 years broadcasting baseball. He did his final game back in September. Bob Murphy was 79. Some good news for Mets fans. Mets games are coming back to a TV near you. Cablevision has reached an interim deal with Time Warner Cable. That means Time Warner's 1.4 million customers will once again be able to watch Fox Sports Net and MSG. The Mets were yanked off the air August 1st when Time Warner refused to pay a huge rate hike to carry the 2 channels.
60 Minutes legend Mike Wallace says all he wanted was a nice meatloaf dinner. But the only beef he ended up having was with some law enforcement agents. They put him in cuffs.
It is really as ridiculous as it sounds.
Mike Wallace's nose for news got him into some trouble on the Upper East Side. He was picking up his dinner at Luke's restaurant on 3rd Avenue last night when he found 2 inspectors for the Taxi and Limousine Commission questioning his car service driver. The TLC inspectors say his driver was double parked. Mike says he simply wanted to know what was going on. But the inspectors claim he became overly assertive and disrespectful and even lunged at them. Mike brushed that off. He's 86 years old. He says his lunging days are over.
I find it difficult to lunge into bed, let alone lunge at a couple of cops who were angry. So what happened was that I said, "Officer, what's going? Get back in the car." It's apparent they don't watch 60 Minutes. That's quite apparent.
Mike's version of events is backed up by several witnesses outside Luke's. Mike just wanted the meatloaf special. Instead, he was handcuffed and taken to the 19th precinct. He was handed a summons for disorderly conduct.
I can understand that they felt that I was doing something wrong. But come on, let's be civilized about it.
Mike Wallace says the only other time he was ever cuffed by cops was in Chicago during the Democratic convention in the midst of a scuffle on the floor. He has a court date on this new charge, disorderly conduct, in October. Len.
Rosanna Lindsay Lohan, her star is on the rise. You might have seen her tonight winning a Teen Choice Award, but her father isn't winning any awards with his share of legal problems. Today, Michael Lohan collapsed while on his way to a court appearance in Mineola, Long Island. He's charged with assaulting a relative at a party inside his Long Island home. Lohan is expected to stay in the hospital overnight. His case has been adjourned until September 2nd.
Coming up, the hip-hop group Black Eyed Peas almost gets pickled. We'll explain.
Plus, a coyote caper in New Jersey. Who stole Wiley from a park?
And I'm Stephen Tubbs, live in Brooklyn tonight. We'll have a story for you coming up on why the Secret Service is paying attention to a local playwright. That story straight ahead.
A shocking discovery
It was one of the worst things I've ever seen.
at a New York reptile zoo.
Somebody could really get hurt.
Fox 5 News investigates tomorrow at 10. If you've got a story you want Fox 5 News to investigate, call us at 1-877-TEL-FOX-5 or log on to our website at fox5ny.com. Closed captioning brought to you by your Lexus dealer.
Excuse me. Hi, can I see that laptop?
Sure. You can access the internet all around your house. It's wireless networking.
Did you say wireless?
I'm free. Not just a puppet on a string, no ties to...
Find your freedom. Get a $150 rebate with select laptops at Best Buy. Thousands of possibilities. Get yours.
It's Toyota time, the nationwide clearance event. The year's biggest event. You've got to act now. Time's running out to get the SUV you've been waiting for, like Highlander, with an available third-row seat. Now with incredible 0% financing or $1,000 cash back. Or lease a Highlander 4x2 for just $269 a month for 36 months. Toyota time. Selection, value, clearance, now.
I thought you were a cool guy.
And cool guy. Collateral, the #1 way to keep cool, is now the #1 movie in America.
You just threw a man out of a window.
And is the best reviewed movie of the year.
I didn't throw him. He fell.
Rolling Stone says it's electrifying. Ebert and Roper give it 2 thumbs up. And Newsweek says it's a knockout. From director Michael Mann, Tom Cruise, Jamie Foxx.
New news. Slow down.
Collateral, rated R, now playing.
First the airports, then the subways, now even yellow cabs prepare to fight terror.
Hey, what is it?
I realize I love you.
Magnum. Open it up from either end. Want more? Get going. You only have until August 31st to get $1,000 bonus cash on the new Hemi-powered Dodge Magnum.
You're watching Fox 5 News at 10.
There are 5 words guaranteed to get the attention of the Secret Service.
The creators of an off-Broadway play are learning that firsthand.
Fox 5's Stephen Tubbs is in Brooklyn Heights right now. Stephen.
Well, Rosanna, lend those 5 words. I'm gonna kill the president. It's a new play that's just in time for the Republican National Convention. We learned about it tonight firsthand in an elaborate PR stunt that was held at a dirty, smelly warehouse. And as you're about to see, there were some pretty interesting characters.
Come now, check it.
To find out more about the play, we were escorted by a guy in a safari hat and red tights, along with his sidekick dressed in a chicken suit. It was a strange scene even for New York. We were then taken to meet this playwright who wants to be taken seriously, despite his outfit.
The play is called I'm Gonna Kill the President, a federal offense.
The 33-year-old wrote the play that's caused quite a stir.
It's about a couple of revolutionaries trying to overthrow the government with fun.
The title's controversial, but is there anything in it that could get the playwright in trouble?
It is certainly illegal to utter a threat against the life of the President of the United States. But the law is very clear. For something to be an actionable threat, it has to be a serious threat.
Attorney Ron Kuby says the law is pretty specific, enough to keep the play and its participants out of trouble. However, the government has heard of the play. The Secret Service tells Fox 5 tonight, quote, the Secret Service is aware of that production.
We think beyond the two-party system. Our imaginations allow us to
It's a 6-person play. It'll be performed in the East Village. It costs $15 and begins August 17th.
Revolution is fun for the whole family, so get involved. Overthrow your local government today.
Now, a talking sleeping bag may seem a little bit off the wall, but really these guys are serious. They want to get the message out that there is an alternative path to politics as we all know it. And just as an aside, they say all the Republican National Convention delegates can get in free if they show proper identification. Live tonight in Brooklyn, Stephen Tubbs, Fox 5 News. Rosanna?
Stephen, you can't make this stuff up. Thank you.
Can you?
No. All right. Well, with warnings that terrorists plan to use limousines as weapons, there's a new push to keep your ride safe. The feds say terrorists may have been planning to fill limos with explosives and drive them into key buildings in our area. Now, taxi and livery drivers are out with a 5-step anti-terrorism program. It includes safety courses and background checks for drivers.
We don't want people coming from other states with criminal records that are not known in the state of New York and getting a license.
The plan also asks drivers to post their ID and passengers to make sure they check it. The latest terror warnings in our area have hospitals tightening security, too. Some medical facilities in northern New Jersey aren't taking any chances. They're even searching the flower deliveries. Officials say hospitals are terror targets, too, because attackers would want to prevent